bring light to the fact that real wages, so wages subscript R, are nominal wages, which we're going to write wages over N over the price index. Okay. So the price index is basically an inflationary index which gauges the inflation in an area. So we are asked, okay, why might firms cut some workers and freeze wages instead of decreasing the amount that they pay to workers, which is basically the nominal wages? So that's a two-part question. One, to cut off some workers, it basically decreases the wages that the company has to pay overall. So in that way, that is one way. Okay, so a company can either cut everybody's wages or just lay off some people and not cut the rest of the company's wages. So the rationale that some people like to take for that is that, well, it's better to get rid of people and let them take their sadness with them, which I don't know how much I agree with, but that is what some economists or textbooks might say, where in a recessionary period, it's better to lay off people and have their, I guess, bad will towards the company leave with them than keep all your workers and cut their pay and then have them be upset while still working with you and then have the desire to maybe leave your company after the recessionary period is over. So that is what some textbooks might say, not necessarily what some might agree with. But so as part of the question, and then the reason to freeze the wages rather than cut nominal wages. So your nominal wage is basically your paycheck, the number that you see when you get your pay stub or your direct deposit. So if you see that number remaining constant, you really won't notice any change. But if you see, you won't notice any change in your wages because the number looks constant. But if you see the number in your paycheck or in your direct deposit decreasing, you're going to know that it is decreasing. But your nominal wages, your real wages are your nominal wages over the price index. So the real wages are decreasing if your nominal wages remain the same and the price index increases. The price index increases almost every year. I really don't remember if there is a year in the United States where there was negative inflation. So in the US and in a lot of countries, not all, inflation usually increases each year, which means that if your nominal wages, which is the number that you see in your account, remain constant and the price index increases, the buying power, which is basically your real wages, decreases. So a company can basically kind of cut your real wages by just keeping your nominal wages constant as time goes on and not giving you a raise that matches the amount of inflation per year. So it's basically a company saying, we want to cut your raises, but we want to cut your wage, but we don't want you to see that we're cutting your wage. So basically there is less of a chance that the employee will be upset because they don't see the actual number decreasing. So that is the rationale of this statement. Feel free to kind of ponder that and see whether you agree or disagree with that rationale. But yes, that is the end of the question.